Hey everyone, Mitch coming in from not the Commander Scores studio yet again, but a different location this time. I'm actually have a pretty weird setup. Yeah, sorry it's kind of dark in here a little bit. I'm actually sitting on a bucket right now, but yeah, life's a little crazy right now, but we'll be back to the studio soon, probably end of the week hopefully, so we shall see. Regardless, on today's episode we're going to be talking about some exciting spoilers from the Wilds of Eldraine a preview session, whatever they do for that, the kickoff essentially that Wizards does, and I believe I screen captured many things. I don't know if I got everything. I'm kind of in a pinch for time right now, so I decided to record a quick one. So yeah, I'm going to combine all these and just jump into it. So let's jump into it. First up, we've got Kellan the Fae-Blooded, and I will mention that I really didn't get time to read through these either, so you're going to be getting my reactions to them just right away without me actually thinking through them, so hopefully I don't mess up too much. Regardless, Kellan the Fae-Blooded, a 2/2 human fairy for 2 and a red. This is yet another commander that we are seeing that has that sorcery adventure on it, or I guess to say adventure on it, because we did see a, I guess not a confirmed commander, a leak that had one on there as well, but now we are confirmed to actually have adventure commanders. Birthbright Boon, for 1 and a white, and sorry, I gotta change my screen, there we go. Search your library for an aura equipment card, reveal, put in your hand, then shuffle. That is fantastic. Again, out of the command zone, you can utilize that to go tutor up any aura equipment. Yeah, Skull Clamp. Do you want incredible draw out of that? Absolutely. And there's a ton of other great ones as well. I'm sure there's gonna be like a Cauldra deck built around this too. Some crazy things you can do with that. On top of that, again, double strike, 2/2. Other creatures you control get +1/+0 for each aura and equipment attached to Kellan the Fae-Blooded. So the more equipment you get on Kellan, the more powerful all of your other creatures get, which is fantastic. Obviously, again, double strike is inherently just great, again, with aura and equipment, because, hey, you're going to be hitting really hard. You just have to get to, what, 11 power, and then that is a one-shot KO on any player. That's pretty easy to do, again, when you've got a commander that can actually just help tutor as well. So, yeah, keep that in mind. It's going to be interesting to see. I'm not sure if it got confirmed. It probably was confirmed in the stream. I wasn't actually able to watch the stream outside of, just getting the clips that I could, just, based on what craziness is going on right now. but basically, yeah, seeing how adventures actually work. If someone would comment below and just let me know, with the command zone, have they confirmed whether or not you're getting commander attacks from that? I believe you would be, but I could be wrong on that. I believe you'd be getting commander attacks every single time you cast that, and also that would cost more and more each time. I could be wrong though, so please let me know in the comments below if that is confirmed or not. Regardless, I mean, it's a great card in the 99 of equipment-based decks that do have Boros colors in them, because, yeah, being able to tutor up any aura or equipment for just 2 mana, that is fantastic, like open the armory essentially. But also, yeah, just as a commander, this can be pretty heavy hitting. You can build it in a lot of different directions. Again, there's a lot of really exciting equipment out there that you can build around very specifically. I mean, this could be a World Slayer commander if you really wanted it to be. So equipment, I do say equipment, I think, but equipment and auras as well. I think most players are probably going to build around equipment with this one, but we shall see. So yeah, very exciting one. Next up, let's move on. We've got a twofer, but I'm going to go through one first. Will, Scion of Peace. So apparently Will and Rowan kind of split up and have different takes on things as brothers and sisters. One's on one side, one's on the other, apparently. So yeah, Will, Scion of Peace is a 2/4 human wizard with vigilance that costs 1 white and a blue. Tap spells you cast this turn that are white and or blue cost X less gas, where X is the amount of life you gain this turn, active as a sorcery. Okay, yeah, again, I did not read through this first. That is gross and amazing and it can be pretty busted because, yeah, I mean, gaining a lot of life is incredibly simple and incredibly easy, and now I'm starting to regret making fun of life gain for all those years, because, I mean, me and others as well out there, because now it seems like Wizards is like, well, you know what, we're just going to turn up life gain to just like an absurd amount of power. Yeah, that is crazy. There are so many ways to just gain a lot of life very easily, very quickly, very efficiently, and repeatable ways to do so as well. And essentially, hey, yeah, just tap this, and all of a sudden, all your spells cost like nothing. I mean, you're gonna have X spells as well, essentially, that you can cast for just a single blue or a single, or or a single white, or just like, I'm thinking about just giant draw spells, like Pull from Tomorrow. Okay, 2 blue, just pay blue, and then draw like 20 cards. Okay, cool, and then draw into something else. You can draw into untap effects to untap this and do it again, and make them cost even less again, like dramatic reversal type stuff, and also kind of making your mana rocks. Yeah. This is a gross card. This is gross. This, again, you might see like, oh, lifelink, friendly. No, not at all. This is Storm. This is definitely Storm. So yeah, Storm with, not lifelink, I said lifelink. Storm with life gain in there as well. So yeah, incredibly gross. Untapped shenanigans can definitely be had with this one. This is just, I mean, crazy good 99, of course, of a life gain deck that happens to have Azorius, not typically your life gain colors. I mean, the white is, but usually it's not heavy into Azorius. With the blue there, but yeah, with that blue there, again, just draw deep down into your deck a ton, an absurd amount. Again, blue Sun Zenith yourself again and again and again. Have fun with that. Rowan, Sign of War. Again, Will and Rowan, having some brother-sister issues right there, but yeah, so Rowan comes in, a 4/2 human wizard with menace that costs 1 black and a red. Tap spells you cast this turn that are black and or red, cost X less to cast for X the amount of life you lost this turn if you found the sorcery. That is even more hilarious because I didn't actually think, I read through the one on the one side, I didn't read through the other one. I'm thinking I'm probably showing one card up on the screen when I edit this, but still, I didn't read through I didn't expect them to be the exact same, but in reverse essentially, and this one's even grosser. Yeah, okay, so again, you are in black, which has access to plenty of ways to just pay life. Actually, red has some ways too, with Phyrexian mana too, where you can just keep repeatedly paying life. Again, I'm thinking like that one Mischievous Poltergeist actually is one just comes to mind. I mean, there's plenty of other ones too, like the 1/1 for 1 that you pay a black into it out of black mana. You can do it again and again and again. Kind of like the Villas cards, essentially, Villas Broker of Blood, any of those cards that work really well in that, like Wall Blood, those kinds of ones that just allow you just to pay whatever life you want. This is just game ending. This is like, this commander is kind of like, what's the combo, like Channel Fireball-ish in a way, because you can just basically determine whatever amount of mana you want up to your life total, and then just Fireball you win. As long as you're like at a higher life total than your opponents, you can just, again, let me just make sure I'm reading this correctly, again, the amount of life you've lost this turn, yeah. So again, you can just essentially go, okay, yeah, Wall Blood's in play, I'll pay 1 life however many times I need to, I'll pay 30 times, okay, I lost 30 life, cool, I've got basically 30 into any X spells that I want, on top of whatever else I can put into them. You just win, essentially. You just win. You tap this once, you say, okay, cool, I cast my, Jaya's Immolating Inferno, or whatever it is, hit all 3 of my opponents for 30. If they're not gone, I mean, again, like, you probably have other ways to obviously gain life. You've probably got ways to life swap with this as well. You got plenty of crazy ways and things that you can do with this. Yeah, that's brutal. These are really, really powerful commanders, and my goodness, is that crazy. I did not expect both. Obviously, when it comes to Will, there's more untap effects to be had. That being said, do not sleep on Rowan, obviously, because I think that's probably the more powerful one, because again, it's more easy to use and abuse, just losing a ton of life. And on top of that, well, you don't just have like the straight up untap effects that both blue and white have. You do have threaten effects. Like just a simple threaten with this is essentially, I mean, it's got to be a 1 mana spell. It's gonna be a red, single red mana to untap, to do it again. So yeah, like threaten, Rowan, big fireball spells, life control deck. That's potent. That's crazy. And both these are lowly ground commanders. Pretty absurd. Moving on. So this one I need to actually, oh goodness gracious, of course I knew this would happen. I need to actually zoom in. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. Zoom in, zoom in, zoom in, view, zoom in. There we go. There we go. Sorry, I had it like a full screen, and now this is where you get to see how the meat gets made, how the pudding gets made. I don't know. Anyways, how the sausage gets made. That's it. Okay, because this is like 10 commanders all on one screen. We are back to uncommon commanders. We'll see if these are any good, or if they're just, no, I'm not going to say a waste of time, but commanders that you might not build around. So let's go through this. Here we go. We got, I believe, one for each color combination, probably. Charade of Numbing Depths. Let's see if we can scooch into a little more. Okay, cool. For 2 white and a blue, we've got a 2/3 Merfolk Wizard. When it enters the battlefield, tap target creature an opponent controls and put a stun counter on it. Okay, that's nice. Again, a stun counter on it means it would come untapped, it gets that counter removed instead. So obviously proliferate effects can work great with this as well to essentially say, yeah, you're just going to stay tapped pretty much forever. And whenever you tap 1 or more untapped creatures your opponents control, draw a card spell that triggers only once each turn. So basically Verity Circle. Did this need that limitation? No, I don't think so. It already has like the limitation 1 or more. That's probably needed because again, you've got cards like Ensnare or those kinds of ones that just tap down all creatures, or like Abishin, is that the Cephalid Emperor or whatever that one is as well, that you could just keep tapping down a lot of things very easily and drawing an absurd amount of cards. So that's already kind of like capped right there. Again, whenever you tap one or more. I don't like the text for the most part. In certain circumstances, I'm fine with it. I do not like the text. This ability triggers only once each turn. I feel like that's kind of a waste of the card. At that point, you're just like, okay, we'll limit it to the point where like it doesn't matter all that much. Now, you can still get a good amount of card advantage. I completely agree with anyone who's going to be saying that, because again, each trip around the table, you can draw, what, up to 4 cards essentially on your turn, your opponent's turn, depending on how many opponents there are. So you've got a lot of opportunity for that. That being said, did it need the limitation? I don't think so, but we shall see. Again, it's not the worst uncommon commander I've ever seen. It's got some interesting things going on, but again, that limitation just kind of irks me just a little bit. Moving on, let's go to the Dimir commander out of these uncommons. Obira, Dreaming Duelist. A 2/2 Fairy Warrior, Flash and Flying. Whenever the fairy enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life. That's pretty fantastic, actually. So again, low to the ground commander. You can flash it in when you need to. Fairy Tribal. Yeah, get your Bitter Blossoms ready for those of you that have the budget for Bitter Blossom. Love that card, but I wish it was budget because I can never use it. Enters battlefield under your control again. You're draining your opponents as well. So again, Bitter Blossom is going to drain you, but it's also not going to drain your opponents. You get plenty of ways, obviously. You're in black to tutor for that. Get it out. There's plenty of other fairies that are in blue and black. Obviously, you're going to be getting even more, most likely. I mean, you've already seen some, obviously, with this one, even in this set. So yeah, we shall see. But yeah, Fairy Tribal in a very... I like that direction, again. Fairy Tribal with that. Also, keep in mind, you do have some blink effects that you can take advantage of as well, like Ghostly Flicker type effects. Obviously, if you're in white as well, you'd have even more. That being said, you've got a decent amount in this. So yeah, there's definitely some things that you can take advantage of. Clone spells too, to get other things too. I mean, just, I guess if you Sakashima this and get a second copy of it, that's draining opponents too every single time. So you can do those kinds of things as well. Irenicus is Val Duplication as well, so cards like that. Definitely ones to consider some clone effects too. Okay, moving on. And I apologize if I mess up any of these names because I'm probably going to do that with Toten Tan's Swarm Piper. There we go. In Rakdos, we've got a 2/3 Human Warlock Bard. Whenever it or other non-token creature you control dies, create a 1/1 black red creature token with this creature can't block, and by paying 1 in a black target attacking red gains death touch until end of turn that you control. Yeah, that's pretty nice. This is again another one that when I was reading this, I was like, oh wait, when's the shoe gonna drop? When are we gonna get to that? Only once each turn or whatnot. We don't see that on this, which is nice. Which is awesome. Again, whenever it or other non-token creature you control dies. So again, it doesn't count tokens, obviously, because it makes tokens. That being said, this can be a great token generating engine for you. I'm thinking, obviously, Aristocrats, kind of with maybe some reanimation effects, maybe some reassembling skeletons that get them, themselves back, that kind of card, essentially. And yeah, just be able to make a rat army. Obviously, there's other cards that really care about the number of rats you have in play. There's other commanders that do, so you can obviously incorporate them too. A lot of powerful effects can be had with this. You can take advantage of cards, like even as simple as like a War Storm Surge, essentially. Just like, okay, yeah, they're just 1/1s that are coming to play, but still pinging things down. Obviously, you can take advantage like Hissing Iguana type effects, Zulfur Cutthroat type effects when they're dying, drain your opponents as well. Basically, kind of just a replacement for any of your creatures that are dying. Make even more tokens, get other token generators too as well out there. And then sure, yeah, again, giving your attacking rats death touch can be huge because, hey, opponent, you don't know what to block. If I've got mana open and I just swing with like 10 rats, you don't know how to block because you don't know what I'm going to take out of yours. So that can be huge as well. Definitely some really cool things. I mean, Sheer Animosity can be great. Those kind of tribal effects as well. So your rats are even deadlier when they're swinging. Obviously, First Strike could be great as well if you can give that. Double Strike you can definitely give as well in combat. That Rage Reflection, that kind of card can be fantastic because, yeah, again, giving Death Touch to something that has First Strike or Double Strike is nearly hard. It's nearly impossible to take out in combat unless they have, First Strike or essentially Indestructibility or whatnot. So yeah, very, very, very cool. Moving on, Ruby Daring Tracker. This one's in Gruul. We've got red and a green for a 1/2 Human Scout with haste. Attacks while you control a creature with power 4 or greater +2/+2 until end of turn. Tap for red or green. Boring. Okay. Let's move on. That's one of those, again, where it's like, okay, this is probably for story purposes and, again, limited purposes. But when it comes to Commander, it's like, yeah, I'm not going to build my deck around swinging with a 3/4. That's a mana dork. So, there you go. Sir Armont, the Redeemer. For 3 green and a white Sun Selesnya, Human Knight, 4/4, enters the battlefield, create a monster roll token attached to a target creature you control. I like that. You haven't seen one of my previous episodes, I talked about rolls as well. You control another roll on it. From the graveyard, enchanted creature gets +1 as trample. Enchanted creature you control at +1/+1. So, an Enchantress style commander where, I mean, the commander is not Enchantress itself, but you've got access to so many Enchantress effects these days where you can just draw a ton of cards by, well, casting more and more enchantments. Obviously, the more creatures that you enchant, the more pumped they are going to be. Also on the ETB, you know, giving another creature a monster roll effectively gives it +2/+2, right? And trample because of that extra pump effect. So, I mean, better than the last one. There's definitely better Enchantress commanders out there, a lot better. I mean, again, maybe I'm being too critical because we're on uncommons, but I think the bar for the uncommon commanders was set really, really high back when Dominaria came out, and just hasn't been the same since, for the most part, I should say. Definitely some, like, Streets New Commander, I think, had some good ones as well. I love Mr. Orfeo. But yeah, I mean, yeah, like an Enchantress kind of like stompy kind of build, that could be kind of fun. So yeah, that would be the design around this one. Obviously, you can take advantage of blink effects as well. Again, you are in I was going to say green, not green. Green is one of the blink effects, but you are in white, so you can take advantage of plenty of cloud shift type effects as well to blink this. Get monster rolls on other, you know, creatures that you have as well to pump them even further. Obviously, take advantage again of like Eidolon Blossoms, those kind of things, to like to, you know, get those constellation effects to draw more cards, etc., etc. Okay, moving on. Now we've got the Orzhov uncommon commander, Neva, Stalked by Nightmares. Let's go with that. A 2/2 human noble for 2 white and a black menace. Enters the battlefield, return target creature card or enchantment card from your graveyard to your hand. Whenever enchantment you control from the graveyard from the battlefield, put a counter on Neva, then scry 1. I mean, there's not really a lot going on here in my opinion. I mean, yeah, again, you can ETB this quite a bit by, you know, taking advantage of, again, blink effects. Feign death type effects as well to bring it right back when it dies, that kind of thing, to actually get creatures out of your graveyard, get enchantments out of your graveyard as well. And also, yeah, if you've got those enchantments that can sacrifice themselves for value potentially, like I think like Seal of Cleansing, I can't remember if that one's in white or green, but they both do the exact same thing essentially. Just get it in play, sacrifice, store target artifact or enchantment. It's great kind of deterrent for it to just be in play. I think Aura of Silence is another one. It's a great deterrent for it to be in play essentially. Just like, hey, gonna play some artifacts or enchantments? Cool, go for it. If you play a big one, I'm gonna take it out, and when I do, I get a counter on this, which is nice, again with the Menace, and also Scry 1, so again, some good potential there for some good card selection. Overall, not that interesting of a commander. Yeah, I'd probably personally stay away from that one, but that's just me. Moving on, Johan, Apprentice Sorcerer. Is it Johan or Johan? I think it's Johan. For 2 blue and a red for 2/5 Human Wizard. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. I love that text. On top of that, once each turn you may cast the top cast an instant sorcerer spell from the top of your library. Okay, that's just worse. Is it Nivix? No, not Nivix. Whichever one. Melik? Is it Paragon? Whichever one is in like Ravnica a long time ago, or Gatewatch, or whatever it was, that allows you to basically do the exact same thing, but like, hey, you're casting them and you're copying them. Yes, this costs 2 less than that one, but it's so much worse. I mean, it's nice that it allows you to look at the top card of the library. That is useful for certain decks that really care about that, you know, when it comes to like scrying effects, when it comes to casting things off the top of your library in other ways, when it comes to maybe milling yourself to like draw into better cards. And that's probably what I would do with this one. I would just make sure I'm drawing into the right cards by milling myself with like things like Ghoulcaller's Bell, etc., etc. But yeah, no, just it kind of irks me a little bit when Wizards doesn't really explore the design space a bit further. When they're like just kind of copy paste old commander, that's just make it so much worse. Or again, obviously when they also just do that, make it way too good as well. They do that on the other end of things too. But this one's just kind of an example of, yeah, you didn't really push the envelope at all here. So there you go. Moving on, Greta Sweet-Tooth Scourge. I love the art on this. That's fantastic. Oh my gosh. And Golgari for 1 black and a green. A 3/3 human warrior enters the battlefield, you get a food token. Cool. Pay a green, sacrifice a food, counter on target creature, activate as a sorcery. For 1 and a black, sacrifice a food, you draw a card, and you lose 1 life. Yeah, I mean, we're getting more and more ways to make food, so that's nice. Again, you can get that in the ETB. There's not too many ways to really use and abuse that in green. There are ways to do so in black. Again, those feign death type effects. Essentially, if this dies, you bring it back right away. So yeah, there are ways to make more food tokens with this. Of course, there's also ways to double up food tokens and any kind of token, actually, you know, doubling season, those kinds of effects. Yeah, being able to just get a counter on a creature, that's not all that great. Drawing a card, losing 1 life, that's much better. Does cost more. That being said, yeah, overall, yeah, there's probably more exciting commanders out there when it comes to food. I mean, yeah, Gaio Master Chef was a fantastic one, and there's probably some other ones that are going to be coming out as well. Again, maybe I'm being too critical on these uncommon commanders, but I think the bar was set pretty high. And again, I don't like when Wizards really kind of waste an opportunity to make a cool. It doesn't have to be overly powerful, right? It doesn't have to be overly powerful, but it needs to be kind of like more useful than some of these are. Okay, moving on. We've got Ash Party Crasher. We're in Boros now for red and a white. We've got a 2/2 with haste. Celebration. Whenever it attacks the 2 or more non-land permanents into the battlefield and control this turn, put a counter on Ash. Okay, that is strictly for probably limited standard. Those, yeah, that is cool. You got a 2/2 with haste. Swing right away. And also be slightly larger. That's it. Yeah, that's probably the worst out of all the ones we've seen so far, even including the Mana Dork one. Anyways, moving on. Finally, in Simic, Watch this Simic one just be busted. Okay, Troyan, Gusty Explorer, I don't think it's gonna be. For 1 green and a blue, Vidalcan Scout, a 1/3 tap, add green blue, spend its ability to cast spells with mana value 5 or greater, or spells with X mana cost. Okay, so big spells. And then pay a blue, tap, draw a card, discard a card, so a looting effect as well. I mean, we already have other dorks out there that are more effective. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure there is just a mana dork out there that just costs like 3 mana and can tap for green blue. In fact, I'm pretty positive that's a thing. It's not a commander, and it doesn't have that restriction. It doesn't have the ability to like loot for you too. But yeah, this is pretty garbage. Yeah. So yeah, I guess big spell tribal. That's fun. But yeah, you've got more effective ways. You got commanders out there that can ramp you a lot quicker, and also loot a lot better. So there you go. That's about it, I believe. One more slide. Oh no, it's just Will again. Okay, so there we go. All right, I went through them all of them, at least all the ones that I saw on stream. I could have missed a couple, and my apologies. I was just kind of going through the stream while also trying to tackle a couple other things. Again, life's pretty crazy right now, but doing the best I can. So yeah, you've got me recording, and yeah, this room that you've never seen before. So there you go. So I hope that you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for bearing with me. Yeah, I'm excited to see even more spoilers. The set seems, again, I really liked Eldraine the first time. I think that this is a new, it's a really cool plane. It's a really cool concept, and I'm excited to see what they do with this one too. A couple of really cool commanders from this, a couple of potentially even broken, busted commanders again. Like, I am afraid of Rowan. Like, I'm afraid of Will, but I'm also really afraid of Rowan right now because, again, like, it's so easy to control your life total when you're going down. Like, you, again, just have a lot of pinpoint ways to go, like, oh, yeah, let's keep losing 1 life again and again and again. Okay, tap. All my spells cost 30 less. Cool. Okay, by the way, I'm just going to cast a single threat and effect for a red mana. Untap my commander, do it again. They all cost 60 less now. Oh, okay, cool. Jaisim Lightning Inferno. All 3 of you are gone. Goodbye. Yeah, it's incredibly simple, incredibly easy to take all your opponents out with a commander like that. And again, it's low to the ground. Oh my goodness. Okay, so yeah, a lot of crazy things are happening. Yeah, stay tuned to this channel for more exciting quick takes and spoilers. Again, we'll see when I'm going to be back in the studio. But yeah, please, and thank you for bearing with me right now. So yeah, comment below your thoughts on all of these. And of course, as always, thanks again and have a good one.
This show and episodes like this one are possible thanks to viewers like you. If you're looking for an easy way to help support this show, make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit that bell notification icon so you don't miss any new episodes. You can also go check out our playmats and other merchandise at thecommandersquarters.com. We also have a ton of brand new t-shirt designs in stock, so make sure you check out those as well. Another easy way to support this show is with our TCG Player affiliate links. So whether you're buying a deck or individual cards, you can use this general link right here or one in the description. And the final way that you can support this show is by supporting us directly by becoming a patron. There are many benefits to being a patron, and I truly couldn't do this without all of their support.